We are going to solve this logarithmic equation, and I see it has an equal sign, so it is an equation, and it has some logarithms. And when you have a logarithmic equation, you have to remember to
check it.
That's right, boys. You have to remember to check it because we have a domain restriction. Inside of a logarithm, this thing in here in the parentheses cannot be 0 or negative. Okay, it must be greater than 0 because logarithms don't happen before 0 or at 0. Okay, so let's keep that in mind for the end of this after we get our solutions or our possible solutions. Okay, so to solve, I do want to take my logarithms. I want to condense them into one logarithm. I see that these two are both being added and they both have the same base. So I look over on my formula sheet and I see that I can condense these into one logarithm using this. So here we go. We're going to have 1 log of base 7. And then this x and this 6x minus 1 will now be multiplied. X times 6x minus 1. All right, drop down the equals, drop down the 1. So now I have just one logarithm, and my x's are, in a sense, trapped inside of here, and I want to get them out. And to do that, I'm going to use this logarithm to exponent. Okay, so I'm going to follow what I see there. I take this little base of 7, and I make it the big base. And then the other two things are going to switch sides. 1 is going to become my new exponent. And then the x times the 6x minus 1 are now free. Okay, now you're going to recognize that this is just a quadratic equation, and so you need to solve it like a quadratic equation. So I'm going to distribute my x. X times 6x is 6x squared. X times negative 1 is negative 1x. All right, on the left side, 7 to the power of 1 is just 7. Okay, so one more step to get this equal to 0. I need to subtract 7 from both sides. So 0 will equal 6x squared minus 1x minus 7. Okay, and when I solve a quadratic equation, I want it to get it equal to 0. Now the next step is going to be to factor this trinomial right here. Okay, it does not start with a 1, so I'm going to go straight to the factors. If you don't know how to factor this, check in the description of this video and you will see me doing this using the AC method. 6x and x, 7 and 1, minus and plus. Okay, so that's the factored form of this trinomial. And now, either one of my factors could be 0 and the whole thing would be 0. So I have to set both of my factors equal to 0. Let me move that. Okay, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to do it up here. It's going to be 6x minus 7 can equal 0, or x plus 1 can equal 0. Okay, because remember, if this was 0, 0 times anything is 0. And if this was 0, 0 times anything is 0. So I solve both of these. These are both linear equations to solve. Let's add 7 to both sides. That will give me 6x equals 7. One more step to divide both sides by 6. And one of my possible answers is x equals 7 over 6. Over on this side, I see that I can subtract 1, and I will get x equals negative 1. Okay, so here are my two possible answers. But remember, that's right, I have to check both of these answers. Okay, and now I'm telling you what's going to happen. This one right here is going to check out, and this one is not going to work. Okay, this is an extraneous solution. So I'm going to show you right now why x equals -1 does not work. And then this one right here, 7/6, I will do the check in a separate video, so you can look in the description if you want to see me check that one out. Okay, but here's how I know this one does not work. Let me take the original equation, and let me bring it down here. And everywhere where I see an x, I want to plug in a -1. So that's right here, and that's right here. And I end up getting log base 7 of -1, and right there I can just stop. That does not exist. All right, I would get the same thing here, log base 7 of -7, and that also does not exist. Remember, the thing inside the parentheses has to be greater than 0. Okay, so that's why -1 does not check out. Now the 7/6, that one's going to be fine. Let me just plug it in to show you, but then I'll do the full check in another video. If this was 7/6, that's fine. And right here where I saw x, if this was 7/6, this would be log base 7 of 7 minus 1, log base 7 of 6, and that is also fine. Okay, so I will do this to make sure it checks out to equal 1, but my answer is only going to be 7/6. X is 7/6. This one was an extraneous solution, and it doesn't check out, and I just don't put it in my answer.